Okay, here we go. All right, here's the contract. Yes, so let's go here. All private information was redacted. So as you can see here, I cut this out so it does not include the name of the VTuber. I would not include the name of the VTuber. So that's cut out. So, but just understand when they're saying broadcaster is intended to be the pilot of Amano Serafi. Also, someone asked this, but it's not just a base non-signed. No, this is a signed contract to simulate. Now, I am not going to show you the signature of her, but I will show you their signature. So you know it's a signed contract, right? So you guys are going to see this. This is the actual signed contract. Also, real quick before this, Delta Strike says it's telling that even Niji, as poorly as they handled Zion, handled it better than VNU is handling it. Yes, VNU, it's scary to say. When VNU can take PR notes from Niji Sanji, you know it's bad. Also, Hell says, just do a collab with Pippa. She will teach you Mahjong. Maybe we could do one where it's like me, Pippa, and Kirsha. I think that'd be awesome. They'd be like a very based trio. I could throw my ping tuber in there. Be fun. All right. So this is what they agreed to. And this is a very short contract. It's not very long. Okay. So one, broadcasters work. Well, first of all, they're going to try to pretend this is not a labor contract, but they're calling her a broadcaster. Well, a broadcaster is still a job, right? It's still a job. Also, understand that just because something is in a contract doesn't make it legal. Doesn't make it legal. They can try to put things in contracts that are illegal or unenforceable. But we're going to go through this. Broadcasters shall perform high-quality character performance and activities as VTuber in accordance with their request or mutually agreed content schedule, terms, and conditions. The duties of the broadcaster under this agreement shall include vocals, broadcasting content, business consultations for broadcasting purpose, and attending meetings for business. So far, not anything crazy. And once again, guys, I told you guys when I first was commenting on this contract, I told you that this is not the Niji Sanji contract. This is not something that's going to make you think that everything is ridiculous, that everything is horrible, and that it's completely crazy. This is not the type of contract. In fact, many of these provisions are fairly standard, right? And this work, the description of the work is fairly standard. It's not anything special. It's very simple. So just understand my take on this has always been that this is something that is kind of a meh contract, but if anything, it's too short and leaves out a lot of details. Also understand, this is important by professional gentlemen, saying that legal fact, calling somebody a contractor, even in a signed contract, is not what makes somebody a contractor. That is correct. And is not what makes it a labor agreement, right? So understand that as we are reading through this document. All right. So broadcasting. The broadcaster shall broadcast at least 3 days a week, at least 2 hours during one broadcast performance. So for a minimum of 2 hours, and shall write at least 3 posts per week having agreed quality or better to upload on SNS or otherwise. In connection with the foregoing, company and broadcaster may adjust the frequency from time to time through monthly consultations. But if the consultation does not provide due to any of the circumstances, it will be decided to proceed based on previous consultation matters or broadcasting matters. Broadcaster, with regards to the above consultation, may present and discuss his or own various practical opinion to the company, but the final judgment decision may be made by the company, and broadcasters shall respect and follow that as far as the decision is reasonable. Hold on one second. So here's a big legal point. We hit our first legal point. They try to say that they can, through consultation, unilaterally change the amount that she has to work. That is not reasonable. You cannot have a term that allows you to change the work provision in a contract unilaterally without agreement. That is not okay. That is not all right. That's not okay. You said at least means a minimum. Now she could stream more as a maximum, but not as a minimum, right? You're saying that you're going to change the minimums based on a monthly consultation. That's bullshit. And also that's a way around labor law. What they're trying to do is skirt labor law. This would be a big no-no under labor law. And this is what they're trying to do. And it goes to enforceability. It goes to unenforceability of the contract. Let's continue here. Broadcasters shall not slander the company or its employees with any reason or purpose, and any other broadcaster of the company in carrying out this agreement, and is strictly prohibited to use the company's assets or rights stipulated in Article 3 for personal or private purposes other than performing contractual activities. Well, this agreement was terminated. And it was terminated, and also she gave intent to no longer perform. So regardless of whether they wanted to accept it, she had effectively issued them a termination saying, I'm done. It was them that wanted to keep this going, and it was them that decided to spread false facts about her. So if anything, they've defamed, slandered, potentially libeled her, not the other way around. Right? So there's a lot of issues with this perception. But yeah, broadcaster shall be strictly prohibited from making political, racial, hateful, sexual, or provocative remarks. So, you got to keep it PG, got to keep a little PG here, or like maybe PG-13 plus. In broadcasting, broadcasters shall share all schedules and contents related to the activities based on the nature of the broadcasting. So you have to tell them what you're doing, and you have to get it approved, right? Which, by the way, she did get approved. But what, remember, they did try to pull the stick of truth on her, and say, oh, well, we now have a problem with you covering the stick of truth, doing your South Park stream. When you told her, when you approved that content, and you liked it, but then you're going to tell her to claw back on it, right? So there was a lot of talking out of both sides of their mouth regarding what they allow and don't allow. But anyways, broadcasting with schedules and contents that are not notified are strictly prohibited. A broadcaster bears all responsibility for any problems or claims that adversely affect the company's business or result in tangible loss, or shall keep and hold the company indemnified and harmless. So they try to sneak in here an indemnification, which is ridiculous. As an employer, you are responsible for your employee. You can't indemnify your way out. I mean, maybe if this was an actual contractor, but because you're trying to keep her as a slave, that is not a contractor. A slave is not a contractor. A slave is an employee, or rather, it's beyond an employee. It's, a serf. But like, they're trying to hold them out in a sort of relationship that you might have with a contractor, whereas, you can't have contractors indemnify you. You can have that happen. That is possible. However, they're not treating her like a contractor. If you want the indemnification, you need to treat them like a real contractor. And you're not. You're simply not. Right? VNU thinks it's Shield Hero. Yeah. Roger that says Fishban RP'd as a StarCraft turn as a kid. So StarCraft collab is definitely on the table. But yeah, that'd be fun. All right. Let's continue here. So that was numero uno. Let's go to numero dos. Okay, so let me zoom out here and go to the next one. Here we go. This is page 2. The company's assets and rights. Now, this is regarding their IP. Regarding their IP. Companies shall reserve the right to ownership, use rights, business rights of all productions, including various characters, produced, secured, and used by the company. Companies shall also reserve all rights to all accounts necessary for broadcasting using them. So, by the way, this means they can use her Twitter and use her YouTube as they wish. Broadcaster merely has the right to use. So they're just giving her the right to use those assets, not actually the ownership. So like kind of a license. Broadcasters shall not restrict access to any account, block, close, disclose, or link other accounts without prior written approval or consent. It is strictly forbidden to change the account ID, password, or email without written permission or consent. On the other hand, if the changes are made with prior permission or consent, broadcaster shall notify company of such changes and otherwise, and inform company in detail of the progress when receiving a request for disclosure or sharing with the company. So this is actually pretty standard in regarding ownership. Obviously, you don't own your IP, they do. So, pretty standard there. Not much to say there. All right, business communication with corresponding manager. Here's a big one regarding a failure on their part. If broadcaster wishes to communicate with people inside and outside the company about content that is directly related to activities under this agreement, affects contractual activities, or may affect the business and reputation of the company, broadcaster shall inform to and discuss the related purpose and matters with the corresponding manager in charge of the company in advance. Broadcaster shall be responsible for any friction, conflict, or dispute with the internal, external parties arising from violation of these obligations, and take strict responsibilities for losses, damages in the company's business therefrom. Well, guess what? Their managers were not very communicative. Their managers were not actually working with them. Their managers were shirking their responsibilities. So on this side, they were really, really, really negligent. Because they did not provide a manager that was there. Negligent supervision. It's a big deal. They didn't hold up their side of the deal. Big problem. All right. Termination. Here we go. The term of this agreement shall be 1 year. Let me say this one more time. The term of this agreement shall be 1 year. One year. Cotton 4K, baby. Straight up lie. Straight up lie. Got them. They just lied. They just straight up lied. Number one, they didn't even get the date right. The date wasn't even right. But the agreement, uno año, por favore. What is that? Hananyong. Hananyong in Korean. Nyong? Nyong? It's been a while. My Korean's getting rusty. Nungpi in Thai, right? Shout out to my Thai peoples out there, right? Yeah. 1, not 3. Exposed. And Korean years are not like dog years. Sorry, correct it. Ilnyong. Sorry. See, so Korea has two languages for numbers: the Korean system, the native Korean, and the Sino-Korean. There's 2. So anyways, however, 15 days prior to the 4 months after the execution, company may conduct a service evaluation based on their work. And as a result, if it is difficult for them to further collaborate as a VTuber or difficult for broadcaster to continue, either company or broadcaster may terminate, and either party shall not raise any objections. Even before the expiration of this agreement, company may terminate this agreement in consultation with broadcaster, and it's not in consultation, and execute a brand new service agreement with broadcaster regarding VTuber services. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what? They didn't do that. And in America, you need to have an agreement. What is this having no agreement and then asserting you have rights? You can't have an unsigned agreement. This is the only document there was between them. The only document. And this re-signing of an agreement, that never happened. The terms and conditions of the exclusive service agreement are determined through separate mutual consultation, but in any case, it will be more advantageous monetarily for broadcaster, and we have to go to the next page, right? We have to go to the next page, than those, let me zoom out, than those in this agreement. What the hell does that mean? So they literally have a clause in here that says, we don't know what the terms of the next agreement are going to be, but we guarantee you it's going to be better than this one. That's a statement of opinion in a legal document. Thank you, Silbury. It's ridiculous. It's not appropriate. Come on. Come on. But let's continue. Let's continue. And yes, guys, I'll try to do a summary at some point of this, but I am working here and I do have to go soon. So this is going to be a shorter stream. Service activity fees and incentives after the expiration of the expiration of period. Companies shall pay USD 500 per month as an activity fee at the end of each month in exchange for broadcasters' sincere activities. I love sincere activities. That's such a legal word. That's not legal. But USD 2,500 for the fourth month. So they pay $500 a month at the end of each month in the beginning, but 2,500 in the fourth month. The activity fee after the fourth month shall be determined through mutual consultation of the parties, which means they're going to change after 4 months. By the way, 4 months would have expired in January of 2023, so a full year ago. So that those payments, look, this is the thing. Article 6, if they asked for their money back under Article 6 and all they asked for was to get back their money under Article 6, then you know what? Maybe I would say that might be reasonable, right? Maybe that might be reasonable if they were only asking for the money under Article 6. So what is that? $500 times 3 is $1,500 plus 2,500. Lawyer math says it's $4,000. If they ask for $4,000 back, I would say, yeah, that's fine. Pay him $4,000 back and get out of it, right? That's $4K. Get out of it, the deal, $4K, whatever. Pay him back. You're done. Walk away. That might be reasonable. They asked for almost $500,000, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, they asked for almost $500,000, $450,000 in US. Come on. Nature of the agreement. Here's the kicker. Here's the one I just love. This agreement shall not be a labor or employment agreement between the company and the broadcaster, which is a special service. Oh, it's a special service. Providing agreement for which they perform and complete tasks agreed between the parties autonomously. No, they don't. Creatively and in full faith. How is it autonomously if you are enslaving them? It's not autonomous if you are enslaving them and if everything needs to be approved by you. If everything that they do is approved by you, you have total control over their content. That is not autonomous. That is not a contractor. This is an employment agreement. You are retarded. Hold on, let me play the clip.
All right, explain this to me like I'm retarded.
That won't be that hard.
And I know people are going to get mad at me and try to cancel me for that, but you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to say.
Not as in, I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
It is patently chromosomally challenged to think that you're going to get away with calling these types of agreements not labor and employment agreements when you are making them into employees. I'm sorry, they're your employees. If you want to control them like this, they're your employees. If you don't want to control them, then they're not your employees. Stop trying to make them into your slaves. If all you're doing is providing them with a model, then come up with an agreement related to the model. But don't try to make them into an employee that you can deal with like a black company in Korea. Robert Stoll says, have you purchased your V&U company script? I hope there's no shorting in the market. By the way, isn't Niji Sanji down right now? I think VNU is private company, so there's no stock. I don't think that's publicly available. I'm not sure, but I think it's private. So I know there's not going to be the same situation as with any color, but damn. Some nobody says this sure sounds professional. Yeah. Semi Collector says Niji salary says no salary, but we guarantee that you will not make more than what you're making now. Now, why does that sound familiar? We promise you. Sounds like Niji. Sounds like Niji with Sayu, if you remember that. The Sayu saga. All right, let's continue. Cancellation or termination. Here we go. If it's canceled due to the broadcaster's fault or non-replacement of the agreement, well, it's other than reasons by expiration, cancellation, or termination. Yeah, termination. Broadcaster shall compensate the company for paid up amount in accordance with this agreement. Direct expenses incurred for the performance of VTuber work, replacement, personnel, input costs, and damages. If the company's damages cannot be easily calculated or proven by the company, broadcaster shall compensate the company at the company's option with 5 times the amount in this agreement received by broadcaster. This is illegal in the United States. So this cannot be enforced. So this 5 times penalty is literally unenforceable in the United States. There's no way to enforce that. A judge would wipe their ass with that clause to try to punish you at 5 times the amount for trying to leave. Absolute extortion. Trying to get them to pay that. By the way, all of those amounts are not incurred based on the employee. Those are company risks. Those are operating a business. It's called operating a business. Your personnel costs, replacement personnel input costs, no, sorry. That's your cost of training. You bear that burden. That's your risk. Sorry. You're not going to be able to make people indentured servants. Silbury said repeating legal clauses makes them sound legaler. Yeah, it does, right? Some nobody said keep reading this, maybe wonder what if VNU is a North Korean company. Seriously. Hold on 1 second. I got it, guys. I am here as the representative of VNU. I am CEO, head dictator of VNU. This is our contract. 5 times. We also take your puppy and your first burdened child. 조상합니다. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that was a message from the head of VNU. Great content, though. Thank you, Some Nobody. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Smash the like button if you like this type of thing. Take Rat says, how is this legal when the contract expired in September 23? I think they magically think they re-signed a contract. I think they can just re-sign a contract by them pretending there's a contract and making up the terms. I really do, Tank Rat. Okay, here we go. Here's the clause they're talking about. So this exclusivity contract is really this prohibition on competition and confidentiality. During the term of this agreement, broadcasters shall have the qualitative and quantitative adverse effect on the work under this agreement in the form of contracts similar to this agreement or a contract related to VTuber activities. VTuber entertainment service providing contract, VTuber entertainment service providing arrangement contract or exclusive contract, etc., with a third party without prior consent, and shall not engage in employment, service, bypass, or exclusion or competition with competitors in any manner. Well, guess what? The agreement's term was 1 year, you retard. It's done. It's over. Stupid. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse so much, guys. It's just these people really work me out. They really do work me out. Trying to abuse people like this, it's really shitty. Broadcasters shall not disclose business progress, business methods, business-related activities with the company in any manner other than purposes of contractual activities, and shall not disclose any other parties who use any information learned while working in the company, internal activities, business status, without, and hold on, I'm going to go to the next page, without prior consent in the company. Obligations in this article shall survive 3 years after the expiration or termination. So let me explain something about confidentiality, guys, before we go anywhere else. If they are the ones to be breaching confidentiality. So for example, if the company is the one publicly disclosing information and they publicly disclose false information. That is not a breach of confidentiality. That's extortion. Right? And they've breached their own confidentiality. They've released their own confidences. If they've released the information, that's it. What we have here is extortion because they are trying to extort them. They're trying to say things are a problem when they're not. By the way, I love that I just got the TISM pass. Cole Jack says, as a person with autism, I grant Legal Mindset permission to use our word. Thank you. Thank you, Cole Jack. Thank you for the R pass. Appreciate it. Take Rat for 5 says, I got that one. Slavki Nikki says, wouldn't Article 8 be similar to retaliatory actions? I know the term is used for employee when it comes to whistleblowing. Yeah, essentially they're trying to silence whistleblowing. That's not going to fly in the US either, especially when there's workplace abuse. Nathan Abel said, gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Just want to say,
hello, beso de pato, man.
Super based, such a Chad. Really appreciate you for supporting the stream. Thank you guys for supporting me when I come back. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a minute. I know that the craziness is the Doki Bird situation has died down, and maybe people are just getting back into it. But the support really helps me. It helps me run this channel, helps me do this day to day. So really, thank you so much for supporting me. Chaos Smash 64 says, Team America, Kim Jong-il accent, please. Okay, I got it. Hello. I'm so lonely. V and U is so lonely. We have no Serafi to call our own. Did that work? Did that work for you? Was that good for you? Appreciate all y'all. Some Nobody, 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you, Some Nobody. Coming up yet again big. Appreciate that. Say thank you to Some Nobody if you got a gift membership here from them. Thank you so much for that. Nick Cruiser, what's up, Riser? Says retards are funny. Play the clip one more time.
All right, explain this to me like I'm retarded.
That won't be that hard.
Gordo Gamer says, so many VTuber companies falling apart this year. It's not been that long into the year and saying, yeah, I know, we're just kicking it up. But you know what? I hope they don't, because ultimately, Gordo, what saddens me the most about this is at the end of the day, there's a person, there's a pilot, there's a human being behind this. And the person whose team I am on is Team Human Being, who is the person who's doing this, who's being taken advantage of. That's who I stand for. That's who I'm trying to fight for. And that's why I'm doing this. So, I mean, hopefully these things don't happen. But unfortunately, I just know based on the lack of regulation, they will. They will. Somebody asked, wait, you're live in Manila? Yes, I am in Manila until April 1st, which is why I've not been streaming as often, because I am working on business and I have to go very, very soon, which is why I'm kind of moving through this rather quickly. See, a lot of corpos were able to thrive on contracts for years, but now the VTuber bubble is starting to burst. The foundations are shaking. Yes, they were able to get away with it, but now, honestly, there's no longer a monopoly. When there was a monopoly, I can see Niji getting away with it, but now they're getting into an area where there's scrutiny, where people are looking at what's happening and saying, no, we're not going to allow this. All right, let's see here. Let's finish up this contract here. So governing law. Well, here we've got an attempt for them to make this handled under Korean law, be resolved by the Korean Commercial Arbitration Board in Seoul, Korea, in accordance with arbitral rules. The contents of this relevant standard contract, recommended by the relevant authority of the Korean government, may also be referred to interpretation of this agreement as far as necessary and appropriate. Well, it's entirely fucking inappropriate, because this is in America. There's an American employee. This is an American labor contract. And listen, I love Korea. Korea is great. But guess what? Korean law is not going to work here. I'm sorry. So you got to say 안녕하세요 to the Korean law, because it's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to step out the back door, right? With the leftover kimchi jjigae, just throw it out the window, right? You're gonna be using American law, because this is an American employment agreement. Based on the provisions, it is a American employment agreement. America. You know that country that's got like all those troops that are like, still stationed in Korea, the most troops in all of Asia, that country. Yeah, it's those rules. Those rules. I know you may not like that, but just saying. Zing does whatever. Says North Korea level of dictation, Haiti level of corruption. VNU feels like a fuck you. Yes. By the way, and I'm not saying all Korean agencies are bad, just VNU specifically trying to do this. So obviously, then you have the parties, the statement that, the parties agree. Guess what this agreement doesn't have? Because this is all of it here. It doesn't have a survival clause. So the only thing they tried to make survive was the confidentiality clause, which they breached themselves by their public statements. Congratulations, you owned yourself. You played yourself, right? By saying that she's on a hiatus and lying when she's trying to terminate her contract, that is in fact a breach yourself. So other than that clause they self-breached on, right here, September 15th, 2022, they had this agreement, which doesn't appear to ever been re-signed. Here, this was stamped. The stamp is below, but it's close to the signature of the broadcaster of the VTuber. So I didn't want to risk putting that in the crop. So I removed the stamp. There's a stamp there, like a corporate seal below. I just can't show up because if I show it, it gets too close. It's too close, man. It's too close. So I didn't want to risk it. I don't risk the biscuit. So that's what I got. That's the whole contract, guys. That is the entire VNU contract. How does that compare to Niji Sanji? Well, it's much shorter. It's leaving out a lot. Yes, the Hanko. It's leaving out a lot. Leaving out a whole lot.